We have made it. We have made it. It is Rick Kamla. It is Steve Alexander, Hall of Famer, a.k.a. Dr. A. It's Media Day. It is NBA Media Day 2025. This is the sort of unofficial beginning of the NBA season. Of course, they're not playing ball today. They're all in uniforms, and media is there, and there are photo shoots, and they're doing, and ooh, with the ball, and they're doing all that stuff. And you know what else they're doing, Doc? They're shooting. They're like, for the local TV stations, right? They're doing all that today. Get it out of the way. You better look pretty today. We're going to have some interesting hairdos, I would imagine. But, Doc, it's Media Day, bro, and I'm stoked. How are you, man?
I'm good. I had a little prop parlay hit last night, but the scariest thing I've ever done is I for some reason went money line on the Packers in the parlay, and when they tied in that game, it canceled that part of it and just let my Josh Jacobs, George Pickens, Romeo Dobbs parlay stand on its own. But my goodness, man, I was sweating bullets last night. It's Media Day. Speaking of haircuts, no NBA haircut has shaken me to my core like Jimmy Butler's haircut did about 4 years ago. And
are you talking about the emo one?
What's that?
Are you talking about the emo one with the straight hair, or was there another one?
No, the emo straight hair Jimmy Butler hair freaked me out, and I've never really been the same since seeing that.
Jimmy, you traumatized Dr. A with the emo look, dude. I bet you Jimmy plays it straight. I bet he's just all business. I'm a Warrior now. We're in it for a chip. We got some Warrior news, by the way, kind of a lot of it. So here's the lay of the land, guys. We're going to get into some news right here. Then we are going to downshift into training camp battles. Okay, we're here. They start practicing tomorrow. Some teams have already started practicing, and even the teams that have a media day today and then like their first training camp practices tomorrow, they've all been in the local city. They've been in the gym. They've been working. They've been playing, right? But it's sort of unofficial. Now it's official. It's training camp, baby. We have preseason games right around the corner, and it's all really, really exciting stuff as we are about to enter October. So we're going to give you some training camp battles. We're going to give you some preseason storylines, and then we're going to talk shooting stats and how if you take field goal percentage and free throw out, what it does to value. If you take field goal percentage out, what it does to value. Free throw percentage out, what it does to value. Just to give you a look at that and just really kind of tease and play with your brain in a fantasy way. And obviously the ultimate goal is to make you smarter, make you a better drafter, and to make you a kick-ass manager who's going to make a lot of money this year. We get to some news here, Doc. Tyler Hero, we have an update on him. It's not good. Obviously, the surgery, he's got the injury. The timeline's been updated to 8 to 12 weeks. And it was initially 8 weeks on the back end. Now it's been moved to 12. And so here we go with Tyler Hero. We're in a slippery slope of the news cycle right now, Doc.
It is September 29th today. Oh, I forgot to tell my sister happy birthday yesterday. Not good. I'll do that after the show. It's September 29th right now. So that is basically October 1st. And if you look at 12 weeks, that's 3 months. That's October, November, December, right? What did I do now?
I can't. Okay. How is your sister going to take your phone call wishing her happy birthday a day later? Please take us into how that combo is going to go.
Oh, dude. I mean, her birthday was over a lost weekend of football debacles.
I don't really
lives in Alaska. There's a time difference. So it may still be her birthday in Alaska for all I know, Rick. I don't know. I'll just shoot her a text and be like, happy birthday, bro. Sorry, I forgot.
Oh my gosh. That's awesome, dude. That's awesome.
So we're
ahead.
looking at
I'm
January.
sorry, I had a moment.
We're looking at January for Tyler Hero. January. No thanks. I am out. the last pick in every single draft I do will be Davion Mitchell. Every single one of them. Unless he starts getting hyped up and other people are taking him. But he's ranked so low in Yahoo and ESPN rankings that I think I can get him with my last pick everywhere.
Yeah, I like your chances of getting Davion very late. Tyler Hero is taking L's over here, Doc. I dropped him down thinking he'd miss, I don't know, a month and a half. I got to drop him lower. I'm going to be dropping him. Shoot, I'm going to keep going here. I'm going to keep going. That's probably his home right there. Like below Pajemski, Bub, Suggs, Monk. I think a little Hero right there. Then I have like Castle, Ivy, Cam Thomas, kind of like, right? So I'm probably going to put him about there. This news is going to create about a 10 guard spot drop, which would probably be about a 2 or 3 round drop for me. So not good, not good. And obviously the ripple effects go to Andrew Wiggins, Norman Powell, Davion Mitchell, and they are going to get much busier without Tyler Hero. I think Khalil Ware could get a little boost out of this. You say Bam Adebayo, maybe, but Bam just kind of does his thing. I don't really see Bam shooting up to 25 a game. I just don't. Plays too much defense. He's a hub of the offense and moving the ball and stuff. I just don't see, like, maybe up to 22 a game, but I wouldn't see like all the way up to 25. He's just kind of not that guy. All right, let's move on to some Warrior news here, Doc. There's a lot of it. Al Horford, because the Kuminga thing is, I guess, somewhat settled. You've got Horford now on a multi-year contract. They've also brought in, Doc, Gary Payton II. They have brought in DeAnthony Melton, have the Golden State Warriors. And, Doc, they've got themselves a deep little squizzod when you talk about, and you tell me, my starting five is Draymond, Butler, Moody, Pajemski, Curry. Moody's a question mark for me. Could start Hield over him. Could start Kuminga over him. Could drop Green down to 4, Butler down to 3. Horford starts at 5, which would be exciting. And then Quentin Post would be the backup 5, because right now, dude, I got 4 centers: Green, Horford, Quentin Post, and Trace Jackson Davis. Who needs a trade out of Golden State? But talk to me, dude. How are you taking a look at these signings? Do you want any of these guys in fantasy?
Well, DeAnthony Melton is such an interesting fantasy player because he's got the skill set. He's got all the things that we love as fantasy managers, yet he never gets enough minutes to do anything with it. He gets overhyped year after year after year after year, and it never comes to fruition. I'm probably not messing with DeAnthony Melton. I don't know who's going to start for this team. The fact they have Al Horford is probably really bad news for your boy Trace Jackson Davis, who cannot catch a break. So I don't know what other questions you asked me in there, but maybe I answered some of them.
You did. I picked up Al Horford in Cam Dynasty. It's a 14-team league. He's been the last couple of years kind of a churn and burn off the waiver wire guy, but you know what the hell? I'll go into the season with him and see it. I mean, and like I said, if Al Horford's coming off the bench, we're going to get a lot of stuff that we got last year. It's still a decent stat line. In a 14-team league, you can find some utility in there. But if he starts, we could get 12, 9, and 3 with 1, 1, and 1, right? I mean, I don't really think they're going to rock that way, but maybe they do. Melton could start as well. So I'm kind of curious about that. And we're going to be talking about some training camp battles here in a little bit, but we just kind of did there with Golden State. I do think they're going to go Green, Butler, Moody, Pajemski, Curry. They rock with that last year. Kerr is stubborn, doesn't like Jonathan Kuminga. Melton is coming off, a pretty significant injury. So signs point to me to that being the starting 5, but I could be wrong. And they have a very, very strong bench. Think about Horford, Kuminga, Hield, Melton, and Payton. That's your second 5? Bro, that's completely badass. All right. So Golden State's looking good right now. Joel Embiid, Doc, practiced participated in portions of Saturday's practice, including some live action. Doc, okay, we did get a little bit of good news on Joel Embiid. A little bit.
Yeah. No, thank you. I do not think this is going to be a good year for Joel Embiid. I don't really see any way it can be. Like, I'm all doom and gloom for the Sixers, man. Like, I just don't like anything about it. None of it.
Okay, let me. I knew we were going to get some breaking news today, and we have it. So Magic president, Orlando Magic president Jeff Weltman on Jalen Suggs' knee and when he'll be ready. Quote: "We're targeting opening day for him." Not good. I don't like that, Doc.
No.
We're targeting opening day for him. Does that mean he's not going to play in any preseason games? It's kind of what it sounds like to me. Targeting opening day for him. Targeting means you're kind of hoping. It's just a plan. That's not locked in cement. This is bad news on Suggs, dude. Suggs is going to catch some L's here when I judge. There's going to be a lot of rankings adjustments because we're going to get a lot of news and updates on players that we've been waiting on all summer. And so right now I'm just putting red by the guys that got a drop, but this dude right here got a drop. Doc, are you with me?
Oh, yeah. I would love to have Jalen Suggs featured as one of my guys, which apparently I need to write like now because it's September 29th. I didn't Green Day have a song like "Wake Me Up When September Comes" or something like that? I need someone to do that for me because I just now realized what day it is. I want to have Jalen Suggs in my guys column. I do, but I can't do it. The whole problem with Jalen Suggs is he's perpetually injured, and now he's going to not do preseason. He's probably not practicing. Like, I don't like any of that. And if Jalen Suggs were fully healthy and ready to go and was going to put in a full season, I mean, that's why I've been hyping up the Orlando Magic to be one of the better teams in the East for so long, because I kind of was trying to will that to happen, but we're not off to a very good start here.
We are not. Here's some more. Kenrich Williams of the Thunder will have arthroscopic procedure on his left knee later today, and then a timetable will be announced. So in terms of OKC, I mean, he's on my second unit right now. But, Doc, what this does, it probably welcomes – I mean, dude, my God, is this team deep. I mean, I've got A.J. Mitchell, who played playoff minutes on the third string. Isaiah Joe, remember him? Pretty decent knockdown three-baller, pretty doggy defender. He's on my third string. Nikola Topic, the hot shot from Europe, last year torn ACL recovery. He's ready to go. Usman Jang, my homie, okay, who never gets any burn. So, dude, somebody is going to benefit from that. My guess right now would probably be because they got a lot of point guard with Wallace and Caruso and SJ. I don't really see Topic. I would see AJ Mitchell. Do you feel like AJ Mitchell's kind of risen above Isaiah Joe or not in that rotation?
I don't know. What I do know is Topic was a high. What number pick was Topic? Like, he was lottery, right?
10. Yeah, it's definitely lottery. I think 10 or 11, something like that.
Dude, I think this opens the door to see a lot of Topic this year because, and by a lot of Topic, do you want him on your fantasy team? Probably not. But he's going to be like Jalen Williams in that we're never going to know how good that guy could be if he wasn't in the shadow of all this greatness that is swarming in OKC. So, I'm super intrigued by Topic because we've seen all those other bench players in OKC. Like, they're all kind of interesting. Like Lou Dort, you could mess with the Kaysen, you can mess with, but you don't really need them on your fantasy team. And Topic should probably be the same deal, but we don't know because we haven't seen him play yet. Like that's who I'm most excited about seeing play in OKC.
So I'm with you on that. You know how I am, dude. It's all like contractual and stuff. And the Thunder paid AJ Mitchell this summer. They gave him 3 years and $9 million. That means they like him. It does. And money finds the floor. However, draft capital also is an anchor in a magnet to the floor as well. I'd rather see Nikola Topic. I would. Than AJ Mitchell, but that's my 2 cents on that. And I'm with Doc. They're not going to be redraft 12-team league fantasy relevant. They're not. 16-team league, 20-team league, 30-team league. They are going to be very relevant. Those guys. Okay, Doc. We get back to work here. More Sixers news. The Sixers have declined Quentin Grimes' request to extend the deadline to accept his qualifying offer past October 1st, which is Wednesday. So he's going to have to take the QO and play it out 1 year, $5 million, 1 year, $6 million, whatever that looks like. It absolutely sucks. But the NBA teams right now, because of the CBA, they have all the leverage, every single little bit of the leverage. Nobody else has any money to pay these guys, so they don't have to pay. And they don't budge, and they hold these guys basically hostage all off season. And then right here at the brink, it's like, you got to take the QO. Screw you, buddy. It's really, really, really effed up. It is. But Doc, Quentin Grimes, I'm not super high on Quentin Grimes, but I do acknowledge that there is some sleeperness here with the Paul George surgery, with Joel Embiid. Who the heck knows what DMPs with him? He could have a decent season.
He could. I'm a little more excited about VJ Edgecombe than I am Quentin Grimes. I feel like you're all in on the Quentin Grimes bus at this point. Like you are feeling you.
Well, I'm definitely not all in. That's way too strong. To say I'm all in.
No, but
I'm not really in at all, honestly. He would be a last round pick. Like you talk about Davion Mitchell. I may throw a last round pick on Quentin Grimes.
Yeah. And that's what I mean. You're not going to draft him in the 5th round, but I can see you drafting some Quentin Grimes because you've got a good feeling about him. I kind of feel the same way about VJ Edgecombe. Like I could see me using a last round pick on Edgecombe. Because I'm concerned that Embiid's not going to play that much this season. I'm concerned that Paul George isn't going to play that much this season. Kelly Oubre is not a spring chicken. He's an older cat in the NBA. And Tyrese Maxey, if Embiid and George aren't out there and they don't have a chance to do anything in the playoffs, there's no reason to run Maxey out there and blow his tires. So I could see that coming down to a lot of Edgecombe, a lot of Quentin Grimes, a lot of Justin Edwards, a lot of Adem Bona. Grimes versus Edgecombe will be interesting. I actually had that written down as one of my battles to talk about today. So a timeshare competition. And at this point, I'm wondering, like, do you have Grimes or Edgecombe in that?
I'm going to leave you waiting on the answer to that. When we get to the training camp battle portion of this, I will give you my answer on that. Guys, if you're watching on Twitter, welcome to the show. We're going to help you dominate this season, but not all of our episodes are going to be available here on this platform, X or Twitter. So subscribe to the Fantasy NBA Today podcast feed to not miss out on any episode. And if you want to hang out with us, head on over to the Sports Ethos YouTube channel as well and subscribe or follow over there, and also leave some comments over there. So, all right, we got some Memphis Grizzlies news here, Doc. Brandon Clark knee will undergo an arthroscopic procedure on his right knee. His season ended in March last year due to a strained right PCL. More right knee issues, not good. Okay, now I got a couple of this. I'm going to give you the Edey news and the Jackson news, and then let's talk. Zach Edey has been cleared to begin the ramp-up process after undergoing off-season surgery, re-injuring the left ankle in June, underwent surgery in early June. And so the Grizzlies included a return to play timeline of 6 to 9 weeks. So he won't be available when the season begins. But I'm guessing that 6 to 9 weeks is from now that he's been cleared, good to go. So now the ramp up starts, and it'll be about probably month and a half ramp up. Okay, so we're looking at, I don't know, missing a month of the season. And then Jaren Jackson Jr., toe, has been cleared to begin ramping up basketball activities, had surgery in July, turf toe injury in his right foot. He's on track to miss the beginning of the season. Friday's announcement by the Grizzlies, he's expected to return in 4 to 6 weeks. So, Doc, we're talking about, I don't know, 2, 3, maybe 4 weeks of the regular season. You will be without JJJ, pardon me. Talk to me.
Well, I mean, everything that you just said screams Santi Aldama for the first 2 months of the season, right? Like, he looks pretty good. Like, Brandon Clark, gone. Jaren Jackson Jr., gone. That is Santi Aldama, Zach Edey, gone. That's Santi Aldama all day long. I think Santi is going to be fun for 2 months. And he basically, that's where he's been the last 2 years, right? Like, pretty fun guy to have on your roster for a couple months.
When all hell breaks loose on his team. I just want to take you guys. I love Zach Edey this year. And even with this injury, I'm going to get him late. Nobody's going to want him. People are going to be drafting Ayton and Sarr and Klingon and Kessler and Mark Williams and Zubats and all these guys, right? Gobert, Hartenstein, they're going to be drafting all these guys. They're going to completely forget about Zach Edey. Zach Edey's going to fall. I'm going to nab him, put him in the IR, and the dude is going to be a walking double-double. I'm hoping for a block and a half, and I think we may get a little bit of three-ball pop from Zach Edey. I like him a lot. This news is encouraging for me on both these guys. Thank you. We have clarity. Right? Whole off season. What's really going on? They're not going to start the season on time. Okay, now we can start to do some timelines and some real math in our head. And I'm green lighting both of these guys. I am. I like them. They've got a great pathway to playing time. And I mean, so Doc, all right, let's move on to training camp battles here.
It's real quick on Edey. I've had 2 10-man ESPN expert mock drafts, 14, 15 rounds. Zach Edey was not drafted in either one of those that I recall. I don't think he was taken in either one. I know I was looking at him at the end of mine, but in a 10-man, by the time you get to the end of your draft, there's still a lot of really interesting players to look at, and I just didn't feel like taking a flyer on an injured Edey. But in a 12-man, you might be able to get him in the last round, and I'm just saying he'd probably be there for you, Rick.
He's a top 120 guy for me on my board. Because you get to that point, I'm just not excited about those guys. So I'd rather sacrifice a month or two of a player that I'm going to be happy with eventually and play the long game. All right. We're going to talk about the major training camp battles. Okay. It's media day. They're going to start practicing tomorrow. And then we get preseason games. We're going to see rotations. And so let's give you a little guide to this. And this is going to help you out as you prepare for your fantasy basketball drafts. Okay. I'll get us going here, Doc. The Utah Jazz. Okay. There are 2 teams, the Utah Jazz and the Washington Wizards. They are going to be my favorite preseason teams, and it's not close because these teams are extremely confusing. All right. Their rotations are wide open. In Utah, Doc, Kessler is guaranteed of a starting spot. Markkanen is guaranteed of a starting spot. I think that's it. Collier, to me, is kind of maybe a half guarantee. He's got a leg up, started all last year, probably will start again. It's not a 10 commandment yet. It's not in stone, but it probably will be. So you have like 2.5 starting spots up in Utah. Right now, I've got Ace Bailey as the starting small forward. I'm kind of hands to God at the 2 guard. It could be Sensabaugh. He was a killer three-point shooter last year. 42%. Sensabaugh rose, okay, and especially late in the year. Sensabaugh is ascending towards a good player and a starter. Cody Williams, okay. Good news on Taylor Hendricks. He's been cleared, fully good to go. But he's more of a 4, so I don't really see a starting spot for him, but he will play. You have Keontae George, of course. So it's a mess, okay? Who is going to start? Who is going to get minutes? Is it going to be buzzkill timeshares all over the place? But that's what I'm looking for. And what I want to see, Doc, I want to see Ace Bailey and Walter Clayton Jr. rock the friggin' house in the preseason and get the starting spots that they should have. Cody Williams, to me, ain't it, okay? Sensabaugh's a three-point shooter, but like Grady Dick and Con Knipple, and do you really want to start these guys? Dalton Connect can't stay in the starting 5, right? It's hard just to start a three-point specialist these days, the Kyle Korvers of the world, right? Kind of a dying breed a little bit. So to me, it makes more sense to start Walter Clayton Jr. He's got off the dribble game. He's sassy. He's electric. He's exciting. He's got a whip. Play the kid. Okay, so that's kind of where I'm at. Any comments on that?
I mean, it's interesting. I think Isaiah Collier versus Keontae George is interesting. And then if Walter Clayton Jr. does start and gets 27 minutes a game, I mean, we got a super sleeper, silly season potential hero on our hands. Really, I think what Utah does with a guy like Walter Clayton and a guy like Ace Bailey is one of the more intriguing storylines we have going into this season. If Clayton and Bailey are going to play big minutes, they're going to be hot waiver wire pickups at the least at some point.
They have good stat sets too. They impact the goodies that we need. Ace Bailey, I say not guaranteed of a starting spot. Because I don't know. But that may quickly change. We get to preseason game 1. It's Kessler, it's Markkanen, it's Bailey. That's their front court. Boom, we're locked in. And it's Ace Bailey season. I like Ace Bailey. We've talked about this throughout the offseason. All right, Doc, hit me with one from your list.
Well, this is a big one. I think both of us probably had it on our list, and it's Kevin Porter Jr. versus Cole Anthony in Milwaukee. Who's going to win the starting point guard job for the Bucks? The winner of that battle is going to be a productive and sought-after fantasy asset in drafts. I like KPJ. I like what he does. I like his talent, but I don't know if Doc Rivers likes KPJ. I don't think he does. And that swings the pendulum back to Cole Anthony. So that's the battle I'm probably most interested in to see who wins it. And at the same time, Ryan Rollins is also in the mix there, but I can't see him winning that battle.
I'm kind of out on all of this. If I had to take one of them, it would be KPJ. I'm not big on KPJ because I just think it's going to be a mess. And Doc hasn't shown that he loves it. Like I talk about with Carlisle. Carlisle loves Andrew Nebhard. It's fact. It's not opinion. It's fact. I've heard him talk about him. We've seen how he plays him. He played him huge minutes as a rookie when he sucked, in my opinion. I thought Nebhard was just not worthy of those minutes, but Carlisle had a plan. He was grooming him, right? Okay, we got to play you when you're not that good to get you good. I get it. So I'm just kind of thinking here, Doc. Who were you just talking about? KPJ. I'm trying to see where I have KPJ. I mean, he is way down here, bro. Yeah, he's way, way, way down here. I don't need to. I don't trust it. And I feel like he's going to be overdrafted a little bit. There's too much uncertainty. So that's kind of, like in fantasy football, like the backfield, and I don't have the example off the top of my head, but honestly, coming into the season, I do Jacksonville, right? Travis Etienne and Tank Bigsby. Because last year, Etienne sucked so bad. He's been pretty good this year, but it was like, I just don't want anything to do with any of that. Okay. Both of them have fallen out of favor with me. I don't really like the team. I don't really like their quarterback, right? So just, that's kind of where I'm at with the Milwaukee point guard situation. All right. On to the next. We're talking about training camp battles here. It is the Fantasy NBA Today, brought to you by FanDuel. Rick Kamla, Dr. A, Steve Alexander, Hall of Famer, a man of many titles. We have the great Andre Lemouche with us as well. Washington, okay? Washington is a lot like Utah. They have a lot to figure out here in the preseason. My starting five right now is Sarr. Well, I had Koulibaly, but he ain't going to begin the season on time. So that will probably become well, let's vet it, okay? Because I already have Keyshawn George in the starting five here. McCollum, Bub Carrington. So Cam Whitmore, Doc, as I look at my depth chart, I see Trey Johnson, who they obviously want to play. Maybe, boy, Trey Johnson and Cam Whitmore, Doc, are at a loggerhead here. Because I think Kispert, I don't think they're going to move him into the starting five. But you could go Sarr, Keyshawn George, McCollum, Bub, and then you need a second forward. Whitmore is more of a forward than Trey Johnson is, but maybe you kick George up, put Trey Johnson at the 3. You know what I'm saying? So kind of how are you vetting that right now with Washington? And are you like me? Are you kind of geeked to watch them in the preseason?
No, I'm not hyped. I'm never hyped to watch the Wizards, man. Alex Sarr hurt. Bilal Koulibaly hurt. Probably means Corey Kispert's starting. It might mean Vucevic or Marvin Bagley probably going to be in there for Sarr. Cam Whitmore is intriguing. Like, I could see him sliding into that lineup. I don't know, man. I don't see people on this team that I really am going to be excited to draft. Like you've kind of got a McCollum vibe to you this year, I feel like. I had a Bub vibe last year. I had a Keyshawn vibe last year. I always have an Alex Sarr thing going, but it's such a mess. And they're so tanky and so weird. I'm probably out. I'm probably out of the Wizards game this year.
Yeah, that was boy, Wizards fans. He doesn't hate your team, Wizards fans. He doesn't. He's just not into your guys from a fantasy perspective. And I get it. There's a ton of downside with all of these guys. There's there's some upside. There's more downside than there is upside. I will grant you that, Doc. However, we find diamonds in the rough, right? We leave no stone unturned when we're looking for fantasy goodies, and there will be some fantasy goodies on this team. My bet would be Whitmore and George will be your starting forwards. McCollum and Bub in the backcourt, and Sarr, if healthy, will be the starting 5. And we'll talk more about that when we get into some preseason storyline.
Is there any chance that they start Chris Middleton?
I think there's a chance. I think they'd be morons to do it. I mean, the guy started last year. He's still on the roster, but I feel like the team is probably like knowing he was going to pick up the option, but still pissed. Like, damn it. He picked up that option. It's like $30+ million, dude, for Chris Middleton. So the move for them is to kick him all the way out of the rotation, and he sits on the bench and he's in the OG role until a contender comes to get him. And if they don't rock that way, I think they're dumbasses. Just like Boston. If y'all don't pull the plug, y'all are dumbasses up there. Because think about it. Bill Belichick, dude, already completely screwed up. Do you remember coming off the Brady thing? And remember that year he had Cam Newton up in New England, right? What I was screaming on radio, Bill Belichick just needs to tank for 1 year. Okay. There were all kinds of QBs coming out in the next draft, and he didn't. They went like 7-9 or something, got a horrible draft pick. I think they took Mac Jones because of that instead of like the premium guys. But I was right. Okay. So that's a Boston should have tanked. They didn't. It blew up in their face. Boston, Celtics, same thing. Tank. All right. Give me, Doc, another training camp battle.
What's going to happen right here in Atlanta with Onyeka Okongwu and Zach Risache, right? Because I think for most of the summer, we were thinking it was either Porzingis or Okongwu. Like we're not going to be seeing them together on the court. But now there have been vibes and waves coming through that say Porzingis and Okongwu are going to play together, and Zach Ricochet is going to the bench. So you're looking at a potential starting lineup of Okongwu, Porzingis, Jalen Johnson, Dyson Daniels, and Trae Young. And I think that's why there's hype about the Hawks. That's why some people like Aaron Brewski think the Hawks have a chance to do very, very well in the East. And it gives them a bench that's not as name droppy as some of the other teams like Golden State and Oklahoma City, but Nickeil Alexander-Walker, Luke Kennard, Vit Krejci, and Ricochet as your bench is not bad. It looks pretty good. So I'm kind of interested in that. Okongwu and Porzingis are both being drafted in almost every league I can think of. But if they are going to start and play together, they're going to start going higher and higher in drafts than they were before. So very interested to see how that shakes out in training camp.
It's absolutely huge. Onyeka Okongwu's value is going to explode if we see. And look, I think we were doing some ADP stuff. I believe he was in the 80s. So his ADP is already pretty solid, pretty high, in my opinion. I think people are anticipating that he will be be a starter, and that Porzingis is going to be the 4. Onyeka will be the 5. You are benching the number 1 overall pick in the 2024 NBA draft. You're benching that guy. That feels a little weird to me, but that may be the way they rock. Obviously, it makes your bench pretty exciting if you have Luke Kennard, Ricochet, and Kennard. No, and Nickeil Alexander-Walker. It's a pretty good 3-pack. And who are their bench bigs? They don't have Capella anymore. They don't have Nance anymore. Oh, yeah, Asanuel. Yeah. So that's your 9-man rotation. It's about all you need. Oh, they throw a little Muhammad Gay in there, Doc. What's his name? Quinn Snyder likes him some Muhammad Gay. Remember last year he'd start him and play him like 16 minutes. Like, bro, what are you doing? So I'm kind of like, again, first preseason game, box score. We see Okongwu, Porzingis, Jalen Johnson, bang, bang, bang. Okay, boom. Sirens are going off. Okay, we need to see that, but it's trending in that direction. Also, though, we could get Ricochet in the starting 5 and Okongwu coming off the bench. All right, that's why we're talking about this stuff. I'll move on to my next one here, Doc. Let's do a little Boston thing here, a little tag team. For me, it's Chris Boucher against Sam Hauser. I presume that Boucher will start. However, Hauser is a killer from the 3-point line, and he's been there. He was on their championship team. So maybe that equity kind of gives him a foothold into that starting 5. I think Boucher, I would see the position split, Doc, 24-24, hot hand kind of thing. I don't think either of those guys is going to play 30 minutes. But how they vet those power forward minutes with Boucher and with Hauser, to me, is going to be very interesting. I'm not high on either of them in fantasy. It's a deep situation. Like, Boucher's not one of my sleepers. I do see some upside and some sleeper-ish stuff, but like, you know what I mean? Like, if I'm writing an article, right, he would not be in that article. He'd be in the just missed the guys that made the article list. That makes sense. But not super high on either of these guys. But I am watching that. And if Boucher is at 30 minutes and Hauser is at 18 minutes, then we have something on our hands here.
You know I'm a Boucher guy, right? And you know that your guy, Nick Nurse, sat on Chris Boucher for 10 years in the prime of his career, did not let him play. Now he's like 31, 32. I don't know how old Boucher is, but he's old. He's in his 30s. All I know is when Shams sent out that tweet about Boucher signing with the Celtics, and he was going to see a significant role or whatever it was he said, it caught my attention. I think Boucher, man, if we can get him 28 minutes a game, he's going to be one of those guys that bounces on and off the waiver wire in fantasy leagues all year long. He gets hot, people are going to pick him up. So I love Boucher. I think Hauser's a very good player too. More of a 3-point specialist in my mind, but Boucher can bang a 3 too. So very excited about that position battle. I like if Boucher comes out in training camp or in the preseason and is getting those reps and getting that run, he may climb onto my radar. I may have a tough decision to make with my last pick. Am I taking Davion Mitchell? Am I taking Chris Boucher?
He's got a fantasy gold or Wemby meter skill set because, like Doc said, he can hit threes, he blocks shots, he'll get some steals. He's a hustle guy. He's injury prone. Okay, he's also inconsistent. There are issues here. He's not a perfect player, but so we're watching that. All right, do you want to talk about the other Boston training camp battle?
I think one of the most interesting ones in the league is Anthony Simons versus Peyton Pritchard. Like, are the Celtics going to roll with Simons, or is he just there on the team? Like, and they're going to try to move him before the season's over. I don't really know which way they're going to go. I assume if he's there, he's going to play. We've seen what Pritchard can do. The last 2 years have been magnificent for Peyton Pritchard. He's a clutch 3-point shooter. He likes hitting buzzer beaters. He likes getting the crowd all fired up. Boston fans love Peyton Pritchard. Like, he's got to play. But Simons, when Dame Lillard went down a few years ago in Portland, Simons stepped up and was a waiver wire darling himself. So I'm drafting Peyton Pritchard. I'm kind of ignoring Anthony Simons, but I could be wrong. I mean, they could turn Simons loose and he could actually ball out. And if he plays well, the chances of Boston tanking it up become less and less.
I don't have specifics, but I do have a live ranking update for you, Doc. Brought to you by
FanDuel.
I'm just gonna flip Simons and Pritchard in my rankings. Like where Simons is right now, he's about 5 or 6 guard spots higher than Pritchard. I'm just going to put Pritchard there and drop Simons into that spot, maybe toggle it a little bit more. But I read a Celtics blog this morning, and they were talking about who's going to be the 5th starter. And they put Keita in there. Pardon me. He had 4 locks. It was Keita, White, Brown, and Pritchard. Okay, again, it's a Celtics blog. I don't have the exact source, but he's in Boston, covers the team. He's a Celtics nerd, and he is calling Peyton Pritchard a lock to be in that starting 5. Okay, so at this point, it's speculation. It's word of mouth. Okay, it's not Shams. It's not Chris Mannix, right? It's not, what's my guy's name? Gary Washburn, right? Like the guys that Chris Forsberg, you know what I'm saying? But it's a blogger. But to me, so anyway, it's like leaning that way. But guys, the first preseason game for the Boston Celtics, if everybody's healthy and if they treat it like a dress rehearsal, we're going to find out. Bro, if Peyton Pritchard starts that game, and I kind of think he will, Doc, I'm kind of leaning that. They freaking love Peyton Pritchard. So dude, his value is going to skyrocket. If he's the starting point guard, we could be talking about, high teens, 5 boards, 7 dimes, 4 threes. Doc, he was at 3 threes playing low minutes. 3. Dude, if that guy's playing 33, 34 minutes a game, we could get 4 3-balls from Peyton Pritchard. So this is absolutely gigantic. Go ahead if you had something to say.
No, I was already in on Pritchard before this. And I don't think he was just at 3 threes last year. Was he? Isn't it 3.4 or?
I think it might have been. Yeah, I think it was a little bit above 3. I think you're right. Yep.
That is exciting. I'm trying to look him up. Yeah, I got him right here. He was at
3.2.
3.2. All right. Well, I'll take that.
That's an elite number.
If Peyton Pritchard and Derek White are starting together, I'm in. And you guess what? Peyton Pritchard and Derek White are going to be like, we're not tanking. We got Jalen and we got us. And we're going to do this. We're going to go out and fight for this. So there's so many, like, you're intrigued by Washington and Utah. I'm intrigued by what the Celtics are doing. Are they going to tank? Are they going to go for it? Who's going to play? How much pride and how much grit do Derek White and Peyton Pritchard have? And are they going to go out and try to, shake up the East? I'm super interesting story. And if Peyton Pritchard and Derek White are starting, what's that mean for Anthony Simons? Are they not interested in what he brings? Or is he just there taking up space to be moved later? Like, I don't know.
Signs point to yes to all of that.
I'm not drafting Anthony Simons. I think that is. I've decided that I'm not messing with him.
The taste in my mouth isn't great, especially compared to Pritchard, because it seems like Pritchard's going to start again, not a guarantee. But Doc, Anthony Simons is most likely guaranteed not to finish the year in Boston, expiring deal. They'll probably move him, and so that's Peyton Pritchard season. So if we get a bench roll from Peyton Pritchard until February, and then they trade Anthony Simons, and then it's Peyton Pritchard season at the most important time when we're making a sense toward championship. So either way you slice it, there's just Pritchard is a better pick than Anthony Simons. And Pritchard and Okongwu stand to be two gigantic preseason winners here. Okay. It is the Fantasy NBA Today brought to you by FanDuel, Rick Kamla, Hall of Famer Dr. A, Steve Alexander. And we press on here with some training camp battles. Andre told us before we came on here, Rick Carlisle has said that in some intel coming out of Indiana, Isaiah Jackson has been practicing with the ones. Buzzkill, barf bag time. But it is what it is. I'm surprised by that. He's fully recovered from the Achilles, by the way. This is setting up to be a timeshare. I think it'll be a timeshare won by Jay Huff. But Doc, we have been pretty stoked about Jay Huff. The combination of blocks and threes is nice if he gets the time. And that's still an if at this point, Doc. So that's a training camp battle that I'm going to be watching very, very closely. They also have James Wiseman and Tony Bradley, but that they're not really a part of this. It's Huff and Jackson to me. They will be 1 and 2 or 2 and 1. And again, Doc, this may be like a Boucher-Hauser thing. This may be a 24-24 split. They may just go full timeshare with this joint right here at this particular position. But I think Jay Huff in 24 minutes a game could get busy for us. I think we would still like that stat line in 24 minutes. Kind of like you say about Daniel Gafford. He doesn't need big minutes to be a good fantasy player. I kind of feel like Jay Huff could be that guy.
I agree with that. And I don't know what's going to happen here. I don't feel like Carlisle necessarily loves Isaiah Jackson. I feel like Isaiah Jackson is always getting hurt. I feel like he's going to get hurt again this year. And Jay Huff, I think, he's not a guy you're going to necessarily have to draft. He's going to be a super hot waiver wire pickup. He's going to be the last pick in a 12-team league. He's not being drafted in 10-team leagues. But I like Jay Huff. Like I'm not jumping off the Jay Huff bandwagon because we got a report that Isaiah Jackson is running with the starters. I feel like Huff is going to work his way into winning that timeshare battle, like Rick said, at some point. And maybe I'm just overly optimistic, and maybe I want Huff to work out because, very early on, as soon as he got sent to Indy, as soon as he signed with the Pacers, I was like, oh, Jay Huff just became super interesting. And I know he's a good fantasy player because Brewski was so dialed into Jay Huff last year. And Brewski is a numbers guy. Like, he dissects the numbers. And when Brewski says this guy has a good fantasy skill set, I don't even need to go look at Jay Huff's numbers because I know that's the case. So I just want Jay Huff to get 25 minutes a game and everybody will be happy. We'll see. Very, very interesting training camp battle for sure.
Give me another one, homie.
Josh Hart. Is Josh Hart going to start for the Knicks? Is Marvin Robinson going to start for the Knicks? And where does Jordan Clarkson fit into that mix? Like, this is all stuff that we will see get worked out in training camp. Rick is completely out on Josh Hart. I am too. For as high as you have to draft him. He's got a new coach that's not going to play him the second most minutes in the entire league this season. And we don't even know if Josh Hart's going to start. If Josh Hart isn't starting, then I definitely don't want any part of him. So yeah, if they start Robinson at center, that slides everybody down and bumps Hart to the bench, assumingly with Jordan Clarkson, making both of them mystery men.
The Knicks are so loaded, dude. They are going to win this conference. There's very little doubt in my mind. I mean, wow. Brogdon. Don't forget, they have Malcolm Brogdon. I know he's going to play 45 games. Those are going to be 45 good games. Clarkson, McBride, Yabusele, Mitchell Robinson. Give me a break, dude. That's a badass bench. I love that bench. So, Doc, let's say Mike Brown switches it up. We're going big. Cats are 4, Mitchell Robinson's are 5. I still see Mitchell Robinson playing only 24 minutes a game. I don't think he's going to be a volume minutes guy. I think it'll be a look. I think it'll be something that they develop, right? And I think it may stick, but I don't see Mitchell Robinson playing 30 minutes a game. Here's why. Josh Hart, even if he comes off the bench, is still going to play starters minutes, I think. I still think he'll get 28, 30 minutes, maybe a little bit more. I think he was at like almost 38 minutes a game last year, which was completely unsustainable. Dunk, 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 dunk. Hopefully you guys understand this. Josh Hart is not doing what he did last year this year. I will die on that hill. I will put my car, my baseball cards up all in the middle of the table on that. I freaking promise you he will not even touch what he did last year. Promise.
You don't have a car. You have a Jeep.
I have a Jeep.
It's not a car.
By the way, good point. Good. But by the way, down here in Florida, dude, the state car, there's 2 state cars. Up in New Jersey, it was a BMW. Okay. Like, I didn't have one, but like, there's BMWs everywhere up there. Down here in Florida, there are 2 cars. Okay. Jeeps and Ford F-150s. Okay. Like the big freaking pickup, that just hauls ass down the road. Like, there's a zillion of them on the road. And most of the drivers are super aggressive and super annoying. And you're going 70 and a 55 and they're up on your bumper. It's that kind of thing. I like to call some of those guys Baby Huey mofos.
You need to get out of left lane, son. Let them go. Get over there.
Well, I do. But if I'm going, I really don't even speed that. But if I happen to want to get around people, I'm going 70 and a 55 for a quick minute. Like, every single time, all you see is like the Ram grill, right? Completely consuming the back window of your Jeep. And Jeeps are kind of high, but these things tower over everybody. It's kind of crazy, man. But Florida is, as most of you know, like, all of the strange articles start with a Florida man, ... a Florida woman, ... And somewhere in there, it'll be wrestles with an alligator and got decapitated. Okay.
And
like,
had
that's
their
how
F-150 impact.
Exactly, dude. All right, where were we, bro? I'm sorry for that tangent. Where were we?
No, it was good.
Get us caught. By the way, you had a Marvin Williams flashback when you said Marvin Robinson. That was a Marvin Williams flashback.
I know his name wasn't Marvin. It's Mitchell. Damn it.
I knew, but Marvin Williams was your guy, dude. Caca. So that little Marvin Williams flashback right
We
there.
saw Marvin Williams over there at the Cheetah, I believe, Rick, you and I, back in the day.
Oh, Destiny was on stage 3, I think. I think Montana was on stage 1. Good times, man. Good times. You guys, Atlanta is so fun. Go there, party, have fun. Let me see here, Doc. These aren't all great. Okay, I'll hit you with the Charlotte Center.
Marvin Robinson. What am I doing?
I love it, dude. Yeah, that's a Marvin Williams flashback. It's Ryan Kalkbrenner. It's Moussa Diabate. It's Mason Plumlee. Ugh. I do want to track this and see. I don't want Diabate or Plumlee to get this job. Saw Diabate last year, was not impressed at all. He doesn't give defensive stats. Mason Plumlee is Mason Plumlee. Good dime guy, good rebounder. I'm just, Doc, he's an old guy that I'm with you with. Then I'm, I'm ready for new here. All right. And I'm not that way with every bet, but love you, Mason Plumlee. But yeah, you're a third stringer to me, although he may start, okay, as they get off and they want to put their vets out there and try to win some games early in there. He actually could start. So I'm curious. It's a fade position for me, Doc. I'm not like geeked about any of these guys. I could be geeked about Kalkbrenner. If we see the stats set and we see the minutes, so that I'm just kind of monitoring this to see if Kalkbrenner is going to be a thing or not.
Huh. Yeah. I'm not. None of those guys are on my radar, Rick. I am. I think it is an interesting position battle, but I'm not drafting any of those guys, so I just don't care. How about that?
Yeah. No, I hear you. I'm mad at you. Give me another training camp battle if you have one.
I'm running low here, but what about San Antonio? Harry Barnes or Sohan? Are they going to keep running my guy Harrison Barnes out there year after year after year? I mean, he's got to be 62, 63 years old by now.
He's almost at Social Security. He's almost going to collect Security.
Are they going to roll with Jeremy Sohan?
Doc, you already know, dude. I like where your head's at. You already know, dude. They're going to rock with Harrison Barnes. He's a vet. He makes a corner three. He's the most average player I think I've ever seen in my life. He's just average. He doesn't suck. He's not great. He's just bang. Like he is the league average player to me. So yeah, I'm out.
Do you think if Jeremy Sohan was put in a position where he could start, like let's say he played for Utah or Washington or Charlotte, and he was starting, and like Greg Popovich had enough faith in him that he thought he could play point guard. Like, is Sohan a good player in a bad situation or not?
I think I would be intrigued if I knew Sohan was going to get 28 to 30 minutes. He's shown to have a pretty good PRA, Doc. Not great at block steals and threes, but they're there. And we don't really know yet, dude. He's been in San Antonio. What about a change of scenery, new coach, new system, new opportunity, new life? And then who are you? Okay. So he's sort of, I'm intrigued. I am a Jeremy Sohan guy, but with this year's San Antonio Spurs team, I'm not. I think Harrison Barnes is going to get that spot and kind of kill that whole little area for fantasy. The last one I have, Doc, is the New Orleans centers, Derek Queen and Yves Missi. I fear that this is going to be a timeshare. I also seems like Missi might have a little leg up. Queen's had an injured offseason, probably hasn't been able to work on his game as much as he wanted to. And the incumbent, Queen's got to come get that job, right? They're not just going to give Queen that starting job. I don't think it's usually not how it goes. But Queen's got to go get that job for Missi. Can he do that? Will it be a timeshare? You also have Kevon Looney lingering. Maybe they have some kind of 10 to 15 minute plan for him, which would zap value from Missi and Queen. So the Pelicans center position, again, it's kind of like the Charlotte thing. I'm not psyched about it, but there could be a goodie guy that emerges from this sort of this cluster in their rotation right now.
Yeah. I totally agree with everything you just said. Yeah, that's all I got.
Let's see what else we got here in terms of news.
Anthony Davis cleared for practice.
Yeah, I mean, this marries with the news we got recently that he a week or so ago, Doc was cleared to play like 5-on-5 or whatever. It's still very, very concerning. Yes, he's been cleared to participate in training camp. Great. What kind of shape is he in? Where's the motivation? Doc, I want to hear clips of Anthony Davis's presser at Media Day. I want to detect body language. I want to hear his voice. Is there excitement or is there going through the motions? So he's dead to me this year. And so are you. Does this move your needle? Does this work for you right here?
No, I am out. I am out on Anthony Davis.
So, and we have some Kyrie Irving news here from Jason Kidd. Kidd pushed back on the reporting that Kyrie Irving is, quote, ahead of schedule in his recovery from ACL surgery. He said Irving is doing quite well, but Kidd wants to be cautious about speeding up the timeline. This is coaching 101. Okay. They never want any of the ahead of schedule stuff because it creates expectations. Expectations can then be fallen short. Okay. So they're always going to pee literally on anything like that ahead of schedule. No, he's doing well. He's progressing well. But so that's just media stuff right there. We still don't know if Kyrie's going to play at all this year. That's the bottom line here.
I don't think he's going to play. And the fact that they were optimistic about him returning this season a month ago was surprising to me. Like, Kyrie Irving's not even on. He's not. I don't even have him written down on any piece of paper anywhere in front of me, like afterthought.
Indeed, my friend. I have one more position battle for a laugh. Bronny James and Dalton Connect. Actually, stop laughing. This is actually, I believe, I don't think it should be a training camp battle. I don't, but I think it might be. Redick just isn't into Connect, man. And there was a report, it was around Summer League time, which is Bronny time. So maybe it was just, that deal. But maybe there's something to it. Okay, we'll soon find out. Bronny could usurp Dalton Connect in the Lakers rotation. Again, I wouldn't rock that way. Just bringing it up as a possibility. And Doc, you know that we don't do the shock jock game. So I'm not trying to bring Bronny's name up to get clickbait here. It's a legitimate possibility out there in LA. And Doc, I believe that will be a talking point from Lakers Media Day. JJ and Bronny and Connect. I mean, if I were a Laker reporter, I would ask about that. Hey, JJ, entering training camp, kind of how are you looking at that backup wing spot? Guys like Dalton Connect, Bronny James, just get them talking on it, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I wish the Mark Williams Dalton Connect trade would have gone through. We'd have Mark Williams in LA. We'd have Dalton Connect in Charlotte just balling out. I love Dalton Connect, man. I'm sad. I'm sad that he's not fitting in with his coach.
I'm shocked. They were so excited to get him, and JJ Redick turned on him like Steve Kerr turns on his players. All right. We are about to get into a shooting stats player ranking analysis. This is really, really cool, okay? This is not fantasy basketball 101. This is advanced level stuff, okay? I'm going to try to explain this in the most relatable way possible. But this is some deep stat dive stuff. Let's have some fun with this. Huge shout out to Andre Lemouche for helping me out, sorting numbers and just really bringing a ton of life and a ton of content to this conversation right now. Andre, you the man. So we're using last year's rankings, looking at the biggest jumps for players that ended the season in the top 150, 8 cat per game value, no turnovers. Okay. So and you guys know I'm not a percentages guy. That's where this comes from. When you ignore field goal and free throw, what does it do to value of players? Okay. And then when you take one out, what does it do to their value? So we're going to have some fun with this. Before we get into the numbers and these lists, a couple of things I need to explain. Why do I ignore or kind of like low-key punt? It's not a punt, right? I don't want to lose. I'm never giving you a category. I just don't go for those categories, if that makes sense. But I like to draft, bigs that block shots that have a 68% field goal percentage. I mean, I understand the importance of that. However, it's just not a priority for me, okay? I'd rather prioritize a guy that shoots 41% and has a fat stat line every night over a guy that's shooting 68% and does not have a fat stat line every night, okay? Because counting numbers I have found over the years are how you win fantasy basketball. It's not through the percentages. And this is in a head-to-head format. And there are many ways to eat the meat, right? There's many ways to do it. This is my way, okay? And I'm not saying you should only do it this way. Experiment with it. Do a team my way this year. Literally just forget about the percentages. Go PRA, points, rebounds, assists. Go Wemby meter, block, steals, threes, and just rock that. And then let the percentages kind of play out. That's what I do. And again, I'm going to study this year and track it on all of my teams. And I don't mix and match my formulas. Same for every single league and every single team. I don't care about percentages. I'm going for counting numbers, period, end of story. And I'm going to track how I do in field goal and free throw percentage in all of my leagues this year. Because I've been winning chips and it's obviously been working for me, but I want the actual data on how many times I win field goal, how many times I win free throw. And I'm really, really fascinated to see those numbers. So what's the key to building a championship team when you sort of low-key fade these categories? You have to be elite at points, rebounds, assists, blocks, steals, threes. Okay. But that's all we talk about every day on this show is targeting block, steals, and threes. We talk about it all day, every day. So, that's my methodology here. It's PRA. It's the rarest stats. The head-to-head battle stats always come down to block, steals, and threes. They do. You guys have been playing. How many times it come down? Field goal percentage is cooked a lot of times by the weekend. Okay. And then, oh man, I need 2 blocks from this guy on Sunday. How many times do you find yourself saying that? That's why I'm not crazy about the percentages, Doc. And I know I just went kind of on a spiel there, but I wanted to set it up. I apologize for the length there, my brother.
Nah, all good, man. Let's get into it.
Okay. So the first one here is positive jumps. Okay. These are my guys. Their value comes from counting numbers, not efficiency. All right. So when you take out field goal percentage and free throw percentage, just completely eliminate it and then resort the rankings. Okay. RJ Barrett is a plus 66. He goes from 136 to 70. Huge jump. Alex Sarr, plus 62. He goes from 149, and that's ranking, to ranking 87. Obviously, based on last year, per game, 8 cat. Paula Banchero, plus 54. 91 goes all the way up to 37. Russell Westbrook, plus 37, goes from 109 to 72. CJ McCollum, you noticing a theme here? These are my guys, okay? Like literally talk about them, ballyhoo them, rank them highly. I will draft them. These are my guys. CJ McCollum is a plus 35 when you take out the percentages, from 108 to 73. Brandon Miller is a plus 33 when you take out percentages, from a 60 to a 28 last year. Zion Williamson, plus 29, from 68 to 39 when you take out field goal and free throw, which underlines how horrible of a free throw shooter he is. Fred VanVleet, Doc, my guy. And may he rest in rehab this year. But he's a plus 28 when you take field goal and free throw percentage out. From 84 spikes up to 57. Giannis, Doc, okay? We know he's great at field goal percentage and sucks at free throw percentage. When you take both of those categories out, he goes up 28 spots, from 36 to 8. And then Alpi Şengün, Doc, goes from 70 to 43 for a plus 27 jump. And almost all of these guys are on my target list and on my bang on list, dude. So those are kind of my guys, right? They're very great examples of my methodology. I want their counting numbers. I don't care about their lack of efficiency.
Yeah, that's good stuff, man. And really, that's a good way for people who don't really care that much about percentages to rank their players. Take the percentages out, look at the actual rank, because same with turnovers. You take turnovers out of the equation, and I don't care about turnovers. You take turnovers out, and some guys shoot way up when you do that. So I think it's important to look at things from that perspective sometimes. And I'm not obsessed with percentages or turnovers really, but I have in my mind who's good at that and who's bad at that. Like I know in my mind, without looking at anything, that Giannis sucks at free throws, and I'm probably not drafting him because of it. So yeah, it's certainly something to consider, and the rankings really do change sometimes drastically when you discount those things.
It's a cool study, man. So let's press on. Okay. These are the negative jumps. Okay. So we have extracted field goal percentage and free throw percentage from their stat lines, a cat, right? And then resorted it. Okay. No field goal, no free throw. So these are the negative jumps or the fallers, the guys whose value drops when you take out the percentages, meaning to me, too much of their value comes from percentages. These are not my guys, okay? These are the opposite of my guys. Aaron Nesmith is a minus 59. And obviously, I love a lot of these guys in reality, okay? Aaron Gordon's on this list. Love him in reality. But we're talking fantasy here. Aaron Nesmith's not my guy in fantasy. He's just not. He's a minus 59, okay? From 143 all the way to 202, okay? Bye. Ty Jerome, minus 53. From a 129 to 179. Again, these are guys that are too reliant on percentages and efficiency. Christian Brown is the headliner for this, okay? We know we're getting about a 15, 5, and 2 PRA. We're getting about a steal. We're getting about a 3, okay? Big deal. That does nothing for me. So when you take out the percentages, his value goes from 77 to 129. Bye. Shot 58% last year. Aaron Gordon drops 50 spots, dude. 134 to 184. Off the radar. And he is off my radar. Jared Allen drops 46 spots when you take out percentages. Obviously, he's a 70% guy. From 69 down to 115. It almost doubles, okay? That's how important field goal percentage is for Jay. It literally makes his value. That's what that's saying. It literally, his value is defined by the field goal percentage. Jared Allen's not one of my guys. I never draft him. Daniel Gafford, minus 41. He goes from 110 to 151 when you take out field goal and free throw. Najee Marshall, minus 34 from a 138 to a 172. Khalil Ware, Doc's guy. When you take out percentages, which were strong, he drops 34 spots from 147 to 181. Zach Edey drops 33 spots when you take out the percentages. And Colin Sexton drops 32 spots when you take out the percentages, Doc. So from this list, I mess with Edey, I mess with Gafford, and that's it. Okay, so what do you think about taking those out and the guys who took the value hit? How are you processing that?
I mean, it's interesting. Your guy Donovan Clingan takes a big fall when you do that because so much of his value is tied into his field goal percentage, right? He's right there with Khalil Ware. So you'll mess with Clingan, but not Ware. Is that what you're telling me, Rick?
I'm not entirely sure where we're talking about Clingan. He was not on this list, but
I know, but I see him on my list. Like you, I took the percentages out, and he's right there next to Khalil Ware. Sorry that I brought him up.
No, dude, it's all good. I just was a little confused. So the difference between Clingan and Jared Allen and Khalil Ware and even Zach Edey is the huge rebound number and the huge block number. You know what I'm saying? Because those guys don't do that. So, and I know Gafford can be a good block guy, but I just think Clingan's different because his percentage is going to be Jared Allen-ish. But don't you think Clingan's going to have a better stat line than Jared Allen in the points, rebounds, and blocks? Or do you not think that?
I hope so. I feel like with Clingan, we are seeing something that hasn't been there yet. Like he just didn't play enough last year for us to really see what he can do. And I think we've convinced ourselves that he's going to play a boatload of minutes this year and he's going to blow up and do all this stuff that we think he can do. But he hasn't earned anything yet. Like, we don't know. Like, Klingon could be a huge bust. He has bust potential for this fantasy season that is coming. Because all of our hype and all of our love for Donovan Klingon is based on us hoping that Portland plays him 28 minutes a game. Right? And we don't know if that's going to happen or not. Like, it's completely in the realm of possibility that they play him 14 minutes a game again. And if they do that, it's going to be a total buzzkill. It's going to make everybody mad. Nobody's going to understand it. And it's going to suck. But, I mean, it could happen.
He is Hall of Famer Steve Alexander, a.k.a. Dr. A. I'm Rick Kamla. We're the Fantasy NBA Today, brought to you by FanDuel. And we are looking at shooting stats and how value changes when you take a certain stat out. We talked about eliminating field goal percentage and free throw percentage. Now let's look at ignoring only free throw percentage, which isolates this, okay? So this is for a team Giannis build. Think about it that way. If you are ignoring free throw percentage, you're game on with Giannis. You don't care that he's going to shoot 55% and shoot 11 free throws a game and kill that category. You don't care, okay? And obviously you have other ways of making that up. You can get, some 80s, some 85, some 90s with your guards. Okay. Maybe you take Steph Curry's 90%er. He does have a decent volume of free throw attempts. So you can attack it that way. But these are the guys that when you eliminate free throw percentage, their value spikes. Okay. These are the Giannis team build guys. RJ Barrett goes up 61 spots, 136 to 75. Zion goes up 51 spots. Again, these are the bad free throw shooters, right? But they bring a lot of value in other areas. So Zion goes up 51 spots, 68 to 17, dude. Okay. Nick Claxton, the homie, goes up 45 spots, 139 to 94. Walker Kessler goes up 44 spots, 65 to 21 when you take out free throw percentage. Paolo Banchero, I mean, these are the homies. Well, Zion's not. But Paolo Banchero plus 36 spots. Not a good free throw shooter. Obviously, 91 to 55. Okay. Giannis goes from 36 to 3. Okay. And that's a plus 33. Westbrook plus 29, 109 to 80. These are ranks. Amen Thompson, Doc. Take out free throw percentage. Boom. Spikes up 27 spots from 59 to 32. Again, that was last year. He's going to blow last year's numbers. I don't know, blow him away, but he's going to improve on them. Alex Sarr, plus 27 spots, 149 to 122. And our guy, Rudy Gobert, plus 26 from 76 to 50. Again, these are the bad free throw shooters that bring a lot of goodies, and their value absolutely takes off when you eliminate free throw percentage. I love this. I'm having fun with this conversation. Andre, thank you so much for this awesome research, dude.
You know who goes way up as well that you did not mention is Dyson Daniels. Goes up to number 9. 9.
Wow, dude.
Dude, I'm so fired up for Dyson Daniels season. I'm so in.
His regular value already was so high that the plus probably wasn't quite enough to make, because these are the top positive jumps.
He was already like 20 or something, but he goes up even higher. I was at the golf course yesterday talking to my guys, and I mentioned that one of the gentlemen that I podcast with was all fired up about the Hawks and how I said, you must not be from Atlanta because that, like, you will be heartbroken every time you get excited about something. And these guys are like, oh, yeah, that guy don't know Atlanta, man. I mean, it's all about the Super Bowl. Like, it's just the same thing every year. Although the Falcons did somehow win yesterday. But I said, well, the Hawks are supposed to be good. And two of the guys that I was talking to were like, I've heard that. I've heard that the Hawks are going to be ballers in the East this coming season. So the hype is out there, man. People are fired up about Kaka, and I'm excited. But as far as dropping free throw percentage and turnovers and field goal percentage and ranking guys, Rick, that's your bread and butter. Like that is how that's how you live at this game. And back in the day, you take Shaq's free throw percentage out and boom, he's up there with Giannis at number 2 or 3 or 4. And it's fascinating that and how much does one category really matter is what it comes down to. And in head-to-head leagues, I don't think it does matter that much. In roto leagues, which we talk about a lot at Sports Ethos, it's hard to win a roto league if you are punting one category and taking an automatic 1. It's doable, but it's not something I am into. I would not advise taking a 1 and trying to win a roto league. But there are people out there who do it. There are people out there who make money at it. This is a very interesting study all the way around.
I'm going to play a roto league this year. I'm going to play the roto league my way. And again, it's not a punt. I don't want to lose field goal percentage and free throw percentage. I just don't go for it. I just don't prioritize it, but I still win it sometimes. So I want to try this formula in a roto league. I'm going to take my head-to-head formula and do. I have to do it this way. And if it sucks and blows up in my face, then I take an L this year and I'll learn next year. But I got to start my way and then evolve from it. So I'm excited to do that, dude. I am.
So
I'm not a roto guy.
Will you go into a roto league and potentially see yourself finishing last in turnovers or field goal or free throws? Like, I
just
not
don't
be more conscious of it.
Turnovers, for sure not. For sure not. The best players in the league are the highest turnover guys. You don't win your league without the best players in the league. Okay. So I'm not gonna, this guy turns it over 3.5 times a game versus this guy turns it over 2.5 times a game. I do not care. I'm not going out in those weeds. Nah, hell no. But I don't give you, let's move on. I don't give you the percentages. I just don't prioritize them. So I would be in a roto, Doc. I'd be looking to be middle of the pack in the percentages, right? If it's a 12-team league, if I'm 5, 6, or 7, I'm getting 6 points from field goal percentage, 6 points from free throw percentage. And then I'm way up here in all the other categories. That's kind of how I'm thinking about this going in. All right, so now let's look at the guys who are such good free throw shooters that their value plummets when you take it out. Again, these are not my guys. 2 relying on efficiency, 2 relying on a category I do not care about. Joel Embiid, minus 45. Okay, this is when you take free throws out, their value drops. Again, this means free throws is a ton of their value. Joel Embiid at minus 45. Cam Thomas drops 36 spots. Devin Booker drops 32 spots. That's interesting. From 22 to 54. Great free throw shooter and a high volume. He's still my guy. Jeremy Grant, minus 28. Aaron Nesmith, here he is again. A lot of value coming from percentages. Drops 27 spots when you take out free throws. Austin Reeves, killer free throw shooter, drops 27 spots from 37 to 64. He does bring a lot of value in a lot of other areas. Chris Middleton, minus 25. We don't really care. Kobe White drops 25 spots, Doc, when you take out free throw percentage from 64 to 89. Trey Murphy, great free throw shooter, drops 25 spots from 36 to 60. And Franz Wagner, another really good free throw shooter, drops 25 spots when you take out free throws from 38 to 63. Any commentary on that list, my friend?
Interesting that some of the guys who we really like Kobe White and Austin Reeves, are on that list. But it's interesting, man. I wonder. I need to get into Brewski and Andre's world one day and get in a super high stakes league and just see how much number crunching and sweat sweat equity goes into this guy's free throw percentage is driving all of his value. Like how much different is it to play in a league where there's $5,000 invested in it than it is to play with your buddies and drafting your guys? Very interesting to think about. And it's sort of like, do you want to be good and win at all costs and dive all the way down the rabbit hole into every number and really make fantasy a full-time job? Or do you want to have fun and draft your guys? And like my guys, like my guys list that I do is not a scientific experiment. It's not me in the lab crunching numbers for 180 hours, but it is a list of guys who put up good fantasy numbers and are mostly proven or soon to be proven fantasy studs. So it's just very interesting to try to think about the different ways to approach this and just how much research can be done to determine a scientific ranking of every player.
Indeed, man. This dude is pretty scientific in his own right. Dr. A's Hall of Famer Steve Alexander. I'm Rick Kamla. We're the Fantasy NBA Today, brought to you by FanDuel. And now we get to field goal percentage, and then we're going to do our FanDuel futures portion of the show and say goodbye for now. But we still got some cool stuff here for you. Okay, so now we're ignoring field goal percentage, okay? Taking it out, okay? We're looking at, again, this is 8 cat per game. No turnovers. It's not even a part of this conversation. It's 8 cat. Anyway, so we've eliminated field goal percentage. All right. And these are the guys that go up when you take out field goal percentage. Yes, Fred VanVleet is on this list. Okay. And again, these are my guys. All right. These are the guys that are giving you points, rebounds, assists, block, steals, threes, and their efficiency is not good. Okay. So when you take field goal out, boom, value spikes. Jeremy Grant of Portland goes up 46 spots from 137 to 91. Keontae George goes up 40 spots from 128 to 88. Last year, a rookie. Rookies hardly ever shoot well, right? So that percentage is going to go up, but still, it speaks to Keontae George is a goody guy. He is. 3 steals. He's got a good stat set, man. We just need more minutes from him. Alex Sarr goes up 38 spots when you take out field goal percentage. So last year he sucked in field goal percentage and free throw percentage. He did. Sucked. Okay. So when you take, and we talked about him, he was a riser when you take out free throw percentage. Same thing with field goal percentage, goes up 38 spots from 149 to 111. Jalen Green goes up 34 spots when you take out field goal percentage from 101 to 67. Brandon Miller, here he is again, goes up 33 spots. Again, Brandon Miller, why do we like him? He's a goody guy. Is he a percentage guy? Nope. He's a goody guy. Okay. He's one of my guys. So he goes up 33 spots. Lauri Markkanen goes, this is surprising. Lauri Markkanen goes up 31 spots when you take out field goal percentage. That's like all of these have been, yep, makes sense. Yep, makes sense. Yep, makes sense. That one's nutty to me. He goes from 102 to 71 when you take out field goal percentage, which he's obviously very good at, and he sucks at the defensive stats. That's weird. All right, Anthony Simons goes up 31 spots. Obviously, shoots in the low 40s, right? From 97 to 66. My guy, may he rest in rehab.
Mid-30s last year, bro.
What's that?
Mid-30s last year.
For who?
Oh, you said Anthony Simons. Fred VanVleet. I'm sorry. Carry on.
You're good. No, you're good, dude. So VanVleet was a plus 31 when you take out field goal percentage from 91 to 66, which is about where I had him ranked right before he blew the tire. Emmanuel Quickly goes up 30 spots from 103 to 73. And D'Angelo Russell goes up 30 spots from 140 to 110. He's been dead to me for years. But so quickly, I'll mess with Simons at the right spot. Brandon Miller, Jalen Green, Alex Sarr. I'll mess with Keontae George at the right spot. I'm not super high on him. And so those are some of my guys right there, dude. This is, I put this down here kind of for a laugh, and I know he's hurt, but this stat right here in this group is for the team FVV build. Like nobody would ever build a team around Fred VanVleet. But anyway, these are the guys who give you the goodies and suck at percentages.
Yeah. Jeremy Grant being on that list is weird to me. Does his field goal percentage suck? Like
it has dipped, dude. Like his whole game, dude. He fell apart last year. By the way, Lauri Markkanen historically has been a good field goal guy, but not last year. He was at 42%. So that explains. I mean, that's dreadful for Lauri Markkanen. 42% from the field for Lauri Markkanen. That's insane. He had some pretty Dudley years. I would say that's either a career low or probably like the second lowest. But I bet you that's an outlier. Let me go to Lauri here real quick. Let me look up his percentages.
While you're doing that, Trae Young jumps up to 6th when you take out field goal percentage. That's pretty juicy. I tell you what, Jalen Johnson, Dyson Daniels, and Trae Young, you take out a category or two from each one of those guys, and they become first rounders based on last year's stats.
It's a good point, man.
Caca.
People are, dude, Lauri Markkanen has never played 70 games. Are you serious? Are you serious right now? Oh my God. Are you serious?
Dude, he was only playing 40 a year in Chicago, I think. Like, it was always just a mess.
Bro, you got it. You're more dead to me than Zion fucking Williamson, bro. You've never even played 70 games? What? Oh my. That pisses me off. All right, reel it in. Yes, career low last year for Lauri Markkanen, 42.3. His previous career low was year 3 in Chicago at 42.5. He's a career 45 guy. He had a 50 in Utah. He had a 48, a 48. So he's had some really good percentage years. But yeah, that 42, and it doesn't seem like it's really going to go up a whole lot this year. It seems like he has let go of the rope. Now, these are the guys, Doc, when you take out field goal percentage, their value plummets. Okay, so these are going to be the high percentage field goal percentage guys. Daniel Gaffer drops 81 spots. 81 when you take field goal percentage out. Jarrett Allen drops 64 spots. Again, not my guy. Derek Lively drops 63 spots. Giannis drops 62 spots when you take out field goal percentage. Obviously, with him, it's a package deal. You get one good stat in field goal, you get one terrible stat in free throw, and make it work because the other numbers are fantastic. Jalen Durant drops 57 spots when you take out field goal percentage. Rudy Gobert drops 52 spots. Zach Edey drops 48 spots. Zion drops 47 spots. Nick Claxton drops 45 spots. And Ivica Zubac drops 42 spots when you take out field goal percentage. Any comments on that, Doc? You want to move on to the futures portion brought to you by FanDuel?
We can just say again that if you're taking, man, I feel like I'm going to sneeze. If you're taking Ivica Zubac in the second or third or fourth round of your draft, I think you're making a huge mistake. And I just can't say it strong enough. Dude played almost 33 minutes a game last year. That is not happening this year. He'll be back down to where his minutes always were before. And if you go and look at what his stats were before this last year, they were not crazy. Like, they were crazy good last year. So just be careful with Zubac. I think everybody should be dropping him down their list.
I agree. I do. So, Doc, it is time for our FanDuel futures, and please go to FanDuel.com, reinvest, bet, put your, I call them sport investments, right? Especially futures. These are investments. This is not wild gambling. I mean, it can be, but this is an investment. The whole year thing, it's a future bet. It'll pay off at the end of the year or not. And so it's a sports investment. Go to FanDuel.com and you can monetize this, all right? We're talking defensive player of the year right now. Victor Wembanyama is at a minus 185. Wow. Okay. That is
mind-blowing.
That's a prohibitive favorite to be. SGA's not even minus right now to win MVP next year.
185, dude.
Yeah.
Honestly, when we first got into what we were doing before this, the players that drop and rise and everything, I didn't have that list in front of me. I was kind of looking at this defensive player of the year numbers, and I saw the minus 185, and I literally was trying to process that in my head. Like, you got to bet 100, you got to bet $185 to win $100 on Victor Wembanyama. Like, that is insane. Like, that is why you and I are screaming from the mountaintops that Wemby is the number one player to draft in fantasy. Like, this is mind-blowing to me.
It's minus 100. I don't know, kind of chalky, kind of even money. Minus 185. Now he's got to get to 65 games. Okay, so that's a part of this investment. Do you think Wemby's going to play 65 games? If he does not play 65 games like last year, he will not win this award. Last year, he was going to win the award. It was his. He was hugging it. His name was half engraved on the trophy. All right. And then they had to put a new little metal plaque on there because he blew a tire and couldn't finish the year. So there's a lot of risk here. This is too rich for my blood. I wouldn't play it. I would play him chalky. I would play him with a plus, but I wouldn't play him at minus 185 because he's Wemby. Stuff has gone wrong. Okay. Will it happen again? Too rich for my blood. But he is my pick to win DPOY. Like, you know what I mean? You know, we talked about Jordan Clarkson's my pick to win sixth man. I think Mike Brown's winning coach of the year. I think Wembanyama is going to win DPOY. The bad bet for me is Anthony Davis. I'm not feeling it at all. Plus 1,600. I do not think he will play the 65 games. And I just question the motivation level. We've talked a ton about that. And then I got a dark horse for you, Doc. Last year, my defensive player of the year was Dyson Daniels. Okay. I did not pick Evan Mobley. Dyson Daniels, I thought, was the best defensive player in the NBA last year, bar none. Okay. And he took the Hawks defense, dude, from like 29 to like 14. Okay. They like had a defense because of him, dude. So what he did last year was extraordinary. So at a plus 2,000 for Dyson Daniels, plus 2,000, Doc, throw a honeybee. Just throw a little honey. Throw a little honey at Dyson Daniels, and you could turn a hundo into $2,000. That's a good bet because I don't know where he finished in the voting, but I know he got DPOY votes last year. He won most improved. Okay. I had who did I have for most improved last year? Dang it. I can't remember right now. I did not have Dyson Daniels, though. I acknowledged that he was extremely improved and all that, but I picked a different dude, and I cannot remember who I picked right now. But he already won an award, could win another one here. So I think Dyson Daniels at plus 2,000 is good money, bro.
Yeah, I don't even know that you can call him a dark horse. He was my defensive player of the year last year. I was really sad he didn't win it. Plus 2,000, the odds are great. And I think that Dyson Daniels became addicted to stealing the basketball last year. And he's like, man, stealing the basketball won me most improved player award. And stealing the basketball might win me a defensive player of the year award, which I want to win this year. Like, I think Dyson Daniels is so dialed into defense that's become his thing. And I think he's going to try to get 3.5 steals a game this year. Like, I do not see a drop-off coming for Dyson Daniels. So I'm with you on that. I also think Amen Thompson at plus 1,600 is a fun way to spend $100. So, yeah. And I'm not messing with the Wemby. It's the chances of him playing 65 games are much lower than the chances of him winning defensive player of the year if he does play 65 games.
Yeah, I think I'd put the odds of Wemby playing 65 games, Doc, I'm going to call it 50-50. It's a coin flip. And it's also, Doc, and I don't know. Hey, Cam, is Wemby going to play over 65 games this year? I don't know. I don't believe he ever has. And I'm not going to say he never will. I hope he will, and I hope he does this year. Quick stuff on Dyson Daniels, Doc. He finished second in DPOY voting last year. Second. And he gave quite a run to Evan Mobley, who had 285 points. Dyson had 197 points. He got 25 first place votes. These people are creatures of habit. They already voted for him. And especially if Atlanta becomes a little bit of a hype team and they are like in the top 4 and their defense maybe goes from like middle of the pack to 8. We know why. It's Dyson Daniels. So all right, good stuff right there. Again, go to FanDuel.com and go pick up our app. Okay, go to your app store, download the Sports Ethos app. You need it more than ever right now. All this news is coming out. Our guys and girls, they're blurbing their hearts out right now with all the news coming out with NBA Media Day. Very busy day. So it's free. Okay, we're giving it to you, and it's a great, great tool. You have to know what goes on with players, okay, to execute and to be productive in fantasy ball. Any sport. All right. We've got MLB blurbs, NFL blurbs. Go check it out. The B150 is coming out tomorrow. Okay. At sportsethos.com. Ethos 360 subscribers, all locked in. But guys, go over there, credit card, a little bit of cash, and big bang for the buck. We're helping you win. We're helping you dominate. Sportsethos.com. Go investigate and subscribe and find some really cool stuff over there. We are out. For Hall of Famer Steve.
Rick, real quick. Back in the day when Brewski and I were at Roto World, and he had been there maybe a year, maybe 2 years, and I had a column. I was like, Doctor, it wasn't my guys. It was like who's hot, who's not, or something. And I was writing a column every week, and at the beginning of the next season, Brewski was like, hey man, he's like, I do a lot of stats and research on my own, and I come up with my own list of 150 guys to draft. He's like, do you care? Like, do you think I can publish that on Roto World and do the Brewski 150 there? And that's the way I recall it. We'll have to see if Brewski remembers it the same way. But I was like, yeah, I'll talk to Ed. And we got clearance. And Brewski's first big column of his own at Roto World, I think, was the Brewski 150, which was the start of where we are today, like 25 years later. So the Brewski 150, it's interesting. It's cool. It's a winner. It is numbers oriented. And if you use that, people who use that win their league. So check out subscribe to the 360 and get the Brewski 150 when it hits tomorrow. It's awesome.
It'll help you in a variety of ways. It's really good at finding value and a round or two off, 3 rounds off, 1 round off, and just those little, like we talk about, the wiggle room of value. It is so key. You can't just go on ADP. You've got to have advantages here and there, and hopefully every pick you have one of those advantages. That's then how you get up ahead of everybody else, especially in high stakes leagues where like everybody's got knowledge, everybody's got stats and opinions and stuff like that. The Brew 150 will help you separate in those high stakes leagues. Again, check it out, sportsethos.com, and it will hit tomorrow. We will also have a show tomorrow, the Fantasy NBA Today, brought to you by FanDuel. For Dr. A, for Andre LaBouche, and for all of you who we love so much, I am Rick Kamla. This has been the Fantasy NBA Today, brought to you by FanDuel. See you Tuesday.